goes aside from my soul. There goes aside, there goes aside. Now there goes aside from my soul.
Hi guys, how are you? I hope you guys have been fine. I hope you're keeping safe still. Haijaenda mahali, corona is still there, and I hope you are taking all the necessary measures to protect yourselves and your loved ones. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being in my channel. Thank you so much for finding time, intentionally finding time to be here. And if you're here by mistake, ulikuwa tembea ukajipata hapa, I hope you get to stay by subscribing to my channel. I promise you content that is educational, informative. Yeah, you'll learn a lot on this channel that you should know, and that I am sure. So thank you so much to my new subscribers. We are almost at 180, and I couldn't be more grateful. Okay, so today I want us to talk about I just thought for the remaining month of January, how about we do career edition? Like, let's talk careers, let's talk CV writing, let's talk the do's and don'ts, let's talk interviews and all. So the remaining days of January, I want us to talk about CV writing and how to place yourself strategically for employment, for a job that you've always wanted to find. So today we start at the lowest level. I want us to talk about how to write a CV when you do not have a work experience. So you're just fresh from school, where you may graduate and now you're looking for a job. I want us to talk about how do you write that CV, what does it contain, and I just want you guys to know that it's not like I am perfect. My CV is not perfect. In fact, you have to keep, you need to keep updating and perfecting your CV as you go. So anytime we talk about such things, I am also learning just like you are. And I hope by the end of this video, I hope that you get to share your concerns and your questions. And yeah, let's get right into the video. Hey, that intro was long. I missed you guys so much, and as usual, you know guys, I really love doing this. You know, I really love doing this. So if I look down so much, of course I have my notes as usual, because I research. A girl does her research. I don't just sit here na ninaanza kuongea nikisema tu vitu haziko. So the first thing you need to know is that a CV acts as a marketing document. So this means it should be appealing at first sight. So vile tu ukiingia super unaona product, hata kama hujaitumia, but unaona product na inakuvutia, and you go to that particular counter or shelf na unaweza iangalia ujue what it's about. CV ina act the same way. It's like a marketing document. Inakumarket aje. You also need to know that CV does not get you the job. It gets you to an interview. So always look at the CV as a marketing document. So you're just from school. You do not have experience, yeah, and you are looking for a job. I mean, sasa juu umetoka tu shule you need CV, lazima ukuwe na CV. So the first thing you're supposed to have on your CV is the personal details. So the name, and it should be as it. So the number one thing is the personal details. Under personal details, you're supposed to have your name as it appears on the ID. You should have the telephone number, and here you're supposed to have your number and an extra number of someone that's closer to you. Ukiweka namba yako, alafu weke namba ya maybe your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister. Make sure you indicate hapo my sister. Why are you doing this? Because unaweza pata mara mob, unaweza pata umepigiwa simu and maybe you do not have network, or uko ushago simu ilizima amna stima or something like that. So badala ya instead of you risking losing that particular opportunity, why don't you have two numbers whereby they can call you, wakikukosa they'll call the other number. So your email address, now here, make sure the email address is very professional. Usiweke ile sweetestrose@hotmail.com. Usiweke hizo, and it's not shiro at, it's not shiro at na uko ukiitwa interview wewe ni mtu totally mature ama ani. No, make sure it's an email address that is very, very professional. The postal address, although these days I don't think people send employment letters through postal addresses, but si necessary. But kama aim yako ni kuongeza body kwa CV yako, well, it's fine. So things not to include kwa hiyo part ya personal details, things not to include on that personal details part. Do not include your tribe unless for instance you are looking for let's say for example a radio job and wanaongea Kikuyu and it's a Kikuyu talk show or whatever. Otherwise do not include your tribe. Number 2, nasikia kuna watu wanekanga DL yao hapo number. They do not need that. Number 3, the languages, make sure they are foreign. If at all you are it's multilingual. No, multilingual. Make sure it's English, Swahili, French, German or something. Usiseme English, Swahili, Kikuyu, Jaluo, no. That one, unless they are foreign languages zenye zitakupea push, then include them. If they're not, achana nazo. So we have personal details. Number 2, you're supposed to include your career objectives. Here, one wants to know your objective, your background, give them an idea of who you are. Like, okay, my name is Catherine, a graduate in Mass Comm and PR, and I'm looking for an opportunity in your company for this and this position. Also, you can indicate that you are flexible and open to training. Remember, you do not have experience, okay? So, it gives you a push, and it gives the employer the feeling that you are open to learning, okay? Yeah, you are open to learning. So, indicate that you are flexible and open to training. Okay. Education and professional background. 1, start with the highest. Kama if your latest or most recent, what do we call it? Primary, secondary
level of education.
Yeah, thank you, baby. if your most recent level of education was university, make sure umeandika university. Sawa, not usiandike university, say St. Paul's University, bachelor's of blah blah blah, and then the year. Do not include KCPE. That's what I learned from some platform I will share after we finish this careers edition in a few videos, that is. So do not include your KCPE. Your work experience. Remember, you do not have a work experience, okay? You're just from campus, or you're just from college. Remember, you do not have a work experience, but you have been an intern, right? So include that. I've been for work experience, an intern. Number of months you've been an intern, where, the organization, the responsibilities, and what value did you give that particular company while you were interning there. If, for instance, you are looking to fill a place of a salesperson and you interned at a particular company as a salesperson, it gives you an extra push. Ukiwaambia what value you brought into the company. Not necessarily the amount of money you brought. No, it's most times do it as a percentage. You saved them this and this and this through an idea uliwapatia or something like that. Be careful with tenses also. Who are very, very careful with the tenses. Higher. The other thing that, okay, let's go back to the point where we talked about the CV being your marketing document, okay? Presentation, okay? Let's talk about presentation. Presentation and formatting. A CV with different fonts is ugly. A colored CV, as in, they were saying it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary to have a colored CV. And make sure you do not have so much underlining. Don't underline everything because it's an important point. Also, there are people that opt to have their CV with pictures. Unless you are looking for a job for a modeling agency or anchoring and they asked for your photos, do not include your pictures. So we've talked about the personal details, we've talked about the career objectives and the educational and professional background and the work experience. Let's talk about the trainings, okay? So the training, because you indicated that you're open to training, make sure you indicate the trainings, because you have maybe undergone some trainings throughout whatever period. Come you went through training after high school, or after campus, or during campus, or you are even still undergoing some training. Make sure you indicate the training you have been acquainted. So you are looking for a sales job, okay? If the training umefanya ni first aid, ama the training umefanya, although first aid, I hear first aid is very it gives you a push. First aid ni poa, because there are even companies that's up to date. Make sure they ask someone to come train their staff on first aid. But if unatafuta a sales job na umetrainiwa boxing, umetrainiwa swimming, umetrainiwa sijui kufanya nini, don't include those. Make sure the things you put on your CV are in line with the work you are looking for. So let's go to the hobbies. Now here, the hobbies, they are not for you to unakuwa entertained. Oh, I am a photographer. I love photography. I love traveling. I love swimming. I love watching TV and documentaries. Make sure these hobbies, they give an insight. Give your employer an insight of who you really are. If you can, make sure they are relevant to the job you are looking for. For instance, let's go back to maybe I am looking for a job in a media house, okay? Sitaandika hapo I love swimming, sitaandika hapo nini. I'll talk about how much I love documentaries, okay? I'll talk about how much love I have for the camera. I'll talk about how much I love maybe watching news or networking, things like those, okay? Make sure hizo hobbies zinaendana na what job you are looking for. That's why earlier on I said your CV needs to keep changing, okay? Isikuwe tu stationary vile ulitoka tu vile ulifunzwa high school. Swimming, I love swimming. I love tunasemanga nini? I love swimming. I love swimming. I love traveling. I love sijui what. Make sure they are relevant to what job you're looking for. Another thing kwa hiyo part ya hobbies, make sure that you can back up that particular point umeandika hapo. If you tell them you love reading books about maybe history nini, make sure if they ask you what the latest book you read, make sure you can say. If you love documentaries about journalism and all, if they ask you what was the latest documentary you watched, make sure you can already say. Because inakufanya you look bad when you say you love watching documentaries and they ask you what documentaries have you watched and you have no answer to that. Okay, the referees. Referees are those people that particular your future employer would call asking for information about you. So make sure they are 3 and make sure they know that you have them on your CV. Sio apigiwe simu alafu he or she is like, who? Referees are concerned, make sure they know that you have them on your CV, so that anytime they are called, they are ready to talk about you to your future employer. So again, make sure there are 3. Make sure they know you have them on your CV, and make sure it's someone who knows you vizuri. You can even include, let's say for example, you are seeking a job that they wish to fill a leadership position, and maybe you are a youth member or a youth leader in your church. So one of the referees unafaa kuweka ni your youth minister, ama wanaitwa nani? Yeah, your youth minister, or maybe if you had a very good relationship with your pastor, muweke hapo. They obviously have something to say about you. So include their name, okay, the position they hold, email address, and forget their number. I'll tell you why in a bit. So their name, for instance, Samuel Karanja Ngumo, position they hold, let's say sales manager, Standard Media Group, or sales manager, okay, their email address. Then I'll tell you why I learned that you're not supposed to include that person's personal number. So let's say for instance you are sending this CV to a recruiting agency or a recruiting company. Imagine how many people imagine who is going to land your CV. Imagine what hands your CV will land on, and you do not want to expose your referee like that, okay? So make sure it's just the email address, and they can always communicate to them via email. Forget the personal number. So yeah, that's all we have for today. Yeah, I hope you liked this video. This is the career edition, and I hope we get to learn more and more as we go. Always learn to always try update your CV, try improve it, perfect it, and learn more about them, you know. On this edition we're going to talk about very many things, and I thought maybe we'd talk about after CV writing for an unexperienced person. I thought maybe we'd talk about one of a person that's experienced, but I thought it's a little redundant because it's just the same things. You just have to do additions to what you have for an unexperienced person. So on our next video we're going to talk about, so you already have a CV, okay, and you have sent it to that particular company you wanted to send to, because you are job hunting, you're looking for a job. So now on our next video we talk about, so now they've called you for an interview, okay? So for our next video we talk about what you need to know about that particular company before you go to that interview, so that you end up when you're all lost, you've not even researched. So guys, I hope you loved this video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and please ask your friends to subscribe to my channel, because this is a channel where you grow. It's a channel where you will never, I purpose to always create videos where you'll never watch my video and leave without learning something new. That I promise you. That I promise. And if you've ever watched a video and you left and you moved to another video because you felt I'm not teaching you anything, tell me which video that was. Actually don't, because you won't find any. Anyway guys, please remember to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below. Tell me what I left out, or ask me questions. We can research. I am not a CV guru, but I can always research and we can talk about it. Yeah, remember to give me a love or a like, you know, motivate a girl, you know. Yeah, so see you on our next video, which will be very soon. I think I want to rush posting these videos before January is done. I just thought, why don't we do a career edition, and especially at this time where people are job seeking and job hunting, because some of us lost our jobs during the height or the peak of coronavirus from March, and we are now trying to recollect and rediscover ourselves and put ourselves back on our feet again. So I thought this will be useful information for people that are trying to get back up and rebuild their lives and get new jobs. And I pray that you get the job you're looking for. So yeah, let's support each other. Let's learn from each other. Let's educate ourselves, grow your mind, Yeah. So till next time, goodbye. Mwah.